After a decade of running a business, being a small business owner in this community, I've been able to identify the number one biggest challenge. That's overcoming obscurity in the marketplace. If people don't know who you are, what you offer, and what you do, how are they going to pick up the phone and give you a call when they need your services? That's why we're starting the Bizness podcast, helping small business owners and great leaders in our community overcome obscurity in the marketplace through our platform. Tune in every Friday, 1 p.m. as we bring leaders straight to you. Hey guys, I'm so excited today. Cut a long story short, I got the man, myth, and legend, Paul, my brother Paul Mathurin right here, as one may say. Paul, man, you're looking fresh. You're looking so clean, man.
Thanks, man.
How's the gym going for you, brother?
Gym's going good. Gym's going good, man. I'm in there about half as much as you are, so just trying to
of course, man. You got to keep up with me, man. You got to keep up with me.
That's right.
Hey, that's a good boomerang there. But anyway, cut a long story short, I got my brother right here, my big little brother Paul. Very successful, doing extremely well. And cut a long story short, we're going to wrap about a couple of things today, business, sales, and hey, how do you get from point A to point B in a remarkable way, as one may say. So before we get into that, I'm going to give a little bit of a back scoop about Paul. Believe it or not, when we were very, very young, Paul's intellect is so high he could actually spell my name before I could, which is obviously phenomenal because I'm older than you.
That's
you
true.
know, so theoretically, from a numbers standpoint, age standpoint, I should be able to spell my own name. And it had nothing to do with me not being smart.
It was me being a genius. That's
You
what
being
it
a
was.
genius.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so
You can't compare. It's
exactly.
just
So
one
number
of those
one,
things,
he could spell my name. But number two, one day we were challenged to a foot race. Basically, our older brother, Andy, hey, why don't you guys race? I was like, man, this is going to be easy peasy pudding and pie. Kiss the girls, but didn't make them cry.
Yep.
And
underestimated. Yep.
yeah, so we lined up, and Paul didn't just beat me, he absolutely kicked my backside.
Smoked him,
man.
Yeah.
It was like, someone please
Embarrassing.
call 911. In England, it's 999.
999, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. 911 won't get you
So
anywhere. Yep.
he can spell my name before me, and second of all, he's a lot faster. Probably not anymore, but you know,
Remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen, as one may
Don't
say.
pull a hamstring though, so.
So,
No.
100%. So listen, Paul, man, let's get straight to the chase. How does someone sell over $2 million a year in HVAC sales?
Let me tell you something, man.
Come on, Paul, just tell me something.
The key to success in business, right? Okay, you can read this in books, look up in the dictionary, is taking risks, you know? So I believe, this might go a little deeper than what we're planning on, but I believe the brain is wired to keep you safe, right?
Okay.
Case in point, what do you do when you go to your pool and it's ice cold outside?
Man, I personally jump in it, but there's a thought process before I get in it.
Exactly. And that's what I'm getting at. So as you're walking towards that pool, your brain's telling you, don't do this. This is stupid. Don't do it. It's going to be cold. Don't do it, right? But you jump in anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is a key symbol as to why you're successful in business, because you don't listen to the thoughts in the back of your head that tell you this is too risky.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially that's what I did. Going into HVAC, I didn't know anything about HVAC. I didn't know anything about, what I did know is that there were salespeople in HVAC that were doing very, very well for themselves.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be one of those guys. And you know, it was a case of believing in my abilities and knowing that I can serve a lot of people by getting into this industry. So that's what I did. It was the heart in knowing I could do well and not letting that thought in the back of my head tell me that the risk is too high, you're not going to make it. The thought was there, but in spite of that thought, just like you jumping in that pool, I went for it and I became successful. Of course, there's a big learning curve in there.
Yeah.
But I think the belief in knowing without a shadow of a doubt that I was going to be successful, I had a goal in mind and I hit that goal.
You're less than 24 months in the game.
Right.
So how do you go from one career to a complete different career with no experience and do those type of records? And I guess what I'm saying is, you can believe in yourself, be motivated and inspired, but at some point you got to take action, right?
Absolutely.
So what actions did you take to put yourself in prime time position, my brother?
Well, it just so happened that the company I was going to work for had a guy in there, or has a guy in there that finished #1 in the nation in Lennox product sales. So I was like, well, he's doing something right. So let me look at what he's doing. And so I shadowed him for about 2 months, and then I went out on my own. And I wanted to emulate the things that he was doing, but I also wanted to make it my own. And so I had a lot of research to do. There's a lot of scientific calculations on airflow and all the different things that make a house comfortable and safe and clean air and things like that. So I had to do the research. I had to learn. When a customer asked me a question, I had to know the answer. And if I didn't know the answer, I had to find the answer for them in a short amount of time.
So there's no faking it till you make it.
No faking it.
Otherwise it'd be 120 degrees in the house, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I had to learn the stuff. I had to do my due diligence and read books and speak to people and get advice and all that kind of stuff. But the key is if you learn something, you need to retain it. You can't just ask somebody, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? They tell you, and then you forget it, and then you're asking them again, because guess what? They're not going to give you any more advice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely a point of development in there. And I think that was a big key on why I'm successful over my competitors. Because if you've got 5 HVAC guys going in there, and 4 of those HVAC guys aren't answering questions, they're not giving the information, and then you got me that comes in and that gives this whole presentation, but also listens to what the customer's wanting and what they're needing, then it's night and day.
You brought up a good point, and in business we talk about this quite a lot, is competitors competing and everything. But what if that person you're competing with is just average? And you beat them, now you're just above average, right? So it kind of sounds like you're not really competing, kind of sounds like you're dominating. What are you doing on a daily basis to make sure that you're successful?
Every day, I have to get up and go to the gym. And I know, here's the thing, we've heard it a million times with all these, social media influencers and things like that. Yeah. Get up and go to the gym, get there at 4 a.m. and you'll be successful. Yeah.
And then work out before 8 a.m. again.
Exactly. Again, you'll be successful. No, that's just a behavior. That's an attribute. You can go to the gym, you can work out. That's one thing. Yeah. But if you just do that, you're not going to be successful.
No, of course.
You're just going to be swole. No. You're going to look good.
So you're going to be super swole.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to have a house to live in. You know what I mean? The car to drive, Yeah. So you've just got to take that mentality and you've got to take it into your career. You've got to take that into your goals. So the person that only works out or goes to the gym when they feel like it is going to be wildly less successful than the person that goes to the gym no matter what.
Regardless,
every day. Right. Same thing with business, with reading that book that is going to be a long book that you want to get through kind of thing. Like if you only read when you feel like reading, then you're not going to increase your knowledge.
The 2 biggest takeaways is consistency, having a consistent pattern in your daily routine. But the second thing is discipline.
Right.
Having the discipline to execute the game plan no matter how you feel.
Absolutely.
If you can be consistent and you can be disciplined over a long period of time, that's going to yield the results that you want.
Right. Absolutely.
Instead of some type of fad or something like that.
Yes, exactly. And it's also that you got to have an endeavor to not plateau. Yeah. So I've been in the game now a year and a half. Okay. So my first full calendar year, January to December. So December, I hit over 2 million, 2.3 million to be exact, right? And so, but am I aiming to hit 2.3 million next year? Absolutely not. I'm aiming to hit 3.3 million next year. Yeah. And so how am I going to hit 3.3 million? Because if I do exactly what I did this year, I'd be crazy to think that I'm going to do any better than I did this year.
Why?
Well, because my performance is a result of my level of knowledge right now. Right. So if I don't increase my knowledge, if I don't increase my habits, do better things to make more, do more, serve more customers, then I'm not going to do any better next year. Right. Yeah. So my goal is to grow, to improve, to learn, just like you in insurance. I mean, you've been in it for 10 years, but I guarantee there's still stuff you don't know.
Oh my gosh, man, learning every single day. And even if I do know it and I know everything, the next day it changes.
It changes. Exactly.
What opportunity do you think is there for people that are go-getters for 2023?
There's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a lot of people saying there's people that aren't going to be wanting to spend money, aren't going to want to do this, aren't going to want to do that. I think the biggest opportunity is to not pay attention to all those things and focus on what you need to do. Because if you sit inside your house, protecting yourself from all the risks and all these different things going on, all the dangers of being outside and all that kind of stuff, then you're going to miss out on all the opportunities. Yeah. And so, I do my best to focus on my goals, put horse blinkers on and go after it. So whatever it may be, don't let those naysayers or the negativity in. Just focus on what you got to do and get after it. Yeah. No excuses.
A great mentor of mine, Norman Thomas. What's up, baby? As one may say, as my boy Norman Storman. He always talks about work-life balance. Yeah. Right. So we talked about work, grinding, income, and all that stuff. How do you balance work-life balance? Because I've got the most beautifulest nieces and nephews. Yep. Thanks to your lovely, beautiful wife, as one may say.
Thank you very much.
And you too. You know what I'm saying? The muscles there.
That's right.
The good chance.
I but contributed something in there.
Talk about work-life balance, man, because I think you guys do an awesome job of that.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Well, I mean, communication is one thing. And so having an understanding that balance is key. You know? And so why I say communication is my wife understands just what I just communicated to you. So if we want to go on a vacation, if you want to do this, if you want to buy that, then we're going to have to sacrifice some time where I'm going to be home a little bit later. Be home at 6, 7, or 8.
Give or take,
give or take and stuff like that. So, I do work some weekends, but I mean, it's like I say, it's all about balance, communication and making sure that I'm spending enough time with my kids. You know, when I do get home, I'm spending time with my kids. I'm reading bedtime stories. I want to make sure that they know who I am, you know? And so, you know, there's give and take there. Let's dig into
the sales standpoint, the sales attributes, right? Okay, so someone's sitting at home right now, okay? They want to get into sales, but they're a little bit nervous about sales. What advice do you have for that person about transitioning into a new career, a sales career? If it be selling homes, selling cars, you know, bank sales or whatever it is. What advice would you have for that one person?
But I would definitely say, find somebody that you can connect with, have coffee with, pay for their coffee, pay for their lunch, whatever it may be, and bend their ear. That's an expression that means just talk to them, ask them questions, open questions, and soak it all in. Then get your feet wet in the sales career that you want to be into. You know, you might want to be in real estate. Okay? Just for example, you know, read a bunch of real estate books, read some general sales books. The Ultimate Sales Machine is a really, really good book by Chet Holmes. That's one of the first sales books that I read.
I think a very important topic to understand in sales business or getting a new opportunity is get used to rejection, right? Because anytime you're going to have success in life, you're always going to have the naysayers in your ear, like you said earlier, and the devil's telling you this isn't good for you. When there is success on the other side of the hill, people are going to try and knock you off the hill. And for me, when I was in the auto industry and I was really trying to break out to get a great opportunity, open up my own insurance agency, I was completely hooked up with people through networking. Boom, resume was sent. But guess what? I never got a phone call. And I think a lot of the time when people don't get a call, they start thinking I've been rejected or they don't want me. And I was like, no, forget this. And so I was able to network, get the recruiter's phone number. I'm like, man, if I can just get on the phone with this guy so he can understand I'm a little bit different and just maybe get a coffee with this guy. So finally got his number, called him up, finally picked up, and I was like, hello there, how art thou? I'm an English man living in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and can I have... He was like, oh, man. So I was able to... I was able to hustle and grind, man, to get him on the phone. Next thing you know, he's like, yeah, I want to meet up with you. 10 years later, he's one of my best friends. Ray Strong, what's up, baby? The recruiter. He's one of my best friends, man. So he gave me the knowledge and the wisdom. But ever since then, man, boom, I was on the fast track doing about maybe 12, 18 months later, opened up my own office, 10 years later, blessings upon blessings upon blessings. But I think it's really important to understand that whenever you're going to make some type of progression, some type of growth towards your potential, you're probably going to get locked down. And those are the times that you push through.
Absolutely.
You've got to be relentless.
Yep. I don't know if you remember, but I was there when you opened your office, man. One of your sales guys, remember that?
No, of course I remember that. I didn't know when I actually opened it the first day with the key.
No, I wasn't there.
I was like, hey, Paul, how'd you get here, man? And that's true. Say, look, man, over the 10 years, I reflect on this. Doesn't matter how great you think you are. Your confidence could be 200 out of 10.
Right.
Okay? Slight exaggeration, but doesn't matter how great you are. If you don't have a team and you don't have people around you, you don't have centers of influences, you don't have the multitude of counsel, there's wisdom, you're not going to succeed. You're going to burn out early.
Right.
Okay? And you're going to crash and burn. You're going to do something else. Or you're going to make a really big mistake that's going to cost your career, whatever it may be.
Right.
So by having people like you, having that support, man, having the people, man, especially you were there for 3 years, right?
Yep. Yeah, 3 years.
3 years. That's the foundation, man. And so if you can surround yourself with like-minded people, and this isn't a detriment statement here, but even if you think you're so great, they're performing on a level of 40 to 60, which my team all perform on very high level. But wouldn't you rather have 10 people performing at 60 to give you 600 instead of you just at your 120, 150?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's important. You got to have a great team. I've just been blessed enough. We've been blessed enough where we got a guy here for 8 years. Got my man behind the camera right there. Big T Money! 7 years up in here. Chris, our editor, man, killing the game. Been here 7 minutes.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
It all adds up.
It all adds up.
You got these are winners right here, man. And that's what it takes, man.
I was terrified of the phone. The handset looked like it weighed 3,000 pounds. And you're like, hey, don't forget Smile and Dial, man. Smile and Dial, call his customers. It's like, oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, sounds good. You go into your office, I'll be like... It was scary, man. So like those
for sure,
those no's, for somebody that's not experienced in sales, calling somebody and saying, "Hey, you want us to come and check out your insurance, see if we can get a better rate." The thought of them saying no sounded like they were going to take me into the street naked and throw mud on me and shout "shame, shame," in front of the whole street. Like it was scary. But I think an important thing to do as somebody that's getting into sales, whatever it may be, is rewire your brain somehow and go for the no's. So since you're going to get, it's just a reality in sales, you're going to get more no's than you are yeses. Guaranteed. It's one thing I can guarantee it. So if you are aiming for those no's, eventually you're going to get a win. you're going to get a yes. The more no's you get, the more yeses you get. What did Michael Jordan say about taking shots?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly, 100%. So if you're missing a whole bunch of shots, that means you're hitting a whole bunch of shots too. So the more, I can tell you, I've probably got 10,000 no's in my sales career. Way more than I've got yeses. But then I reflect on the success that I've had this year. If I wasn't aiming to get those no's this year, there's no way I would have hit all the yeses that I hit. So what was it, the biggest motivating factor that kept you going?
So I'll share a story. I think I was maybe my second year in business, and I just lost all of my team. Okay, lost 4 or 5 employees, apart from one, Tom Wood, my guy. But anyway, it sucked. They all quit at the same time. But then I had like 10 other things going on. You know, you're new in business, you've got the haters, and you're listening here, you're listening there, and your money's running out, you've maxed out your credit cards, okay? So I had all this stuff going on. I'm driving home, and it just hit me. I've never had stress or any depression feelings or anxiety or anything like that. And I just felt like it all hit me at once. I'm sitting at a red light, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, wow, I'm at a 50-50. I feel like I can have a breakdown. And I felt like I was going to kind of somewhat lose it, you know, and just kind of deflate, you know. Or I could have gone the other way and be like, you know what, suck it up, buttercup. Let's do it, man. But for the first time in my life, I was in that teeter-totter position. And before that light turned green, I decided, luckily, I could have gone either way. I decided to go that way. This is the first time ever in my life I felt like I was going to have a breakdown, but I didn't. I pushed through. Next day, I had a random customer come to the office, and he asked to pray for my office. Okay, older gentleman, kind of looked like granddad. This is a straight God thing. God sent this person to walk through my door to do this. Look, just like granddad, who we love and adore tremendously, right?
Yeah.
He asked to pray for the office, an older gentleman, and he started speaking in tongues, you know, like crazy tongues. I've never spoken tongues in my life, but I put my arm around it. I'd start speaking in tongues too, you know, whatever it takes to get this ship going.
Yeah.
And you know, I was right there with him, man, you know? And bro, I kid you not, from that day forward, we've been so tremendously blessed, man. No stress, no anxiety, none of those thoughts. And the reason why it's been that way is because if God is for us, then who can be against us? Yeah. Period. Romans 8:31. If God is for us, who can be against us? And it's really that simple. If God is for you, who could possibly be against you? So when you ask me that question, it comes down to the faith, man. It comes out of my faith and my belief in God, and knowing that God has a plan for not just me, but my family, my employees, my friends. He has a plan for everybody. And I think if you know that deep down, nothing's going to stop you. Every year you've done better.
Yep, progression.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Man, you know, from the outside in, it looks like I've had a few careers over the last, 10 years or what have you. But the reality is I feel like I've been in the same career all along. And that's understanding what I'm capable of and taking those skills that I'm learning to move to the next thing, you know? Yeah. And so, I was doing some reading, some research, and I found out that, sales is a very, very lucrative career. I think it's looked down upon a lot. When you think of the average car sales guy or, or insurance salesman or whatever it may be, like, it's sales.
Yeah.
But sales is what you make it. And I like to have that control over my success, that control over my future. And so I've always been in sales. And so I've been in the medical field, the insurance field, and now HVAC for homes. This is the most success I've ever had. I'm working for an honest company that stands by their word. They understand the science behind what they're doing, and so that's just the information. I can learn all that stuff. I can sell anything as long as I know what it is I'm selling and how that's going to serve and help people. Yeah,
put them in a better position,
Doesn't matter what industry I'm in. Because I'm still using the skills that I have honed and developed over the last 10 years. I've never gone hungry, never once gone hungry. And that is a faith thing for sure. So when I went to ORU and I went to get my degree there, I wasn't making a great deal of money at all. I was making hardly anything. I was driving an old car.
That exploded, by the way, with you in it.
Exploded. Yep, absolutely. So I had to
stop,
jump
tuck
out
and roll.
Yeah, I did. I had to jump out while I was moving.
Guitar?
Yeah, no,
guitar was gone, right?
Yeah, the guitar was gone. It was burned.
Yeah.
It's a long gone guitar. But anyway, So I was going down the highway. I didn't change the oil. Didn't know much about cars at the time. I know a little bit now.
You got it from A to B though.
Yeah, A to B, exactly. So I was going down a hill on the highway, and then something exploded on the engine. I couldn't even tell you what it is right now.
Yeah.
But I went to hit the brakes, no brakes. Went to pull the handbrake, no brakes. So I jumped out of the car, and so the car kind of like rode off the side of the road and just like exploded into a big ball of fire or whatever. And the fire department got there. But anyway, all that to say is it was definitely a challenging thing. When there is success over the hill, that's when the enemy is going to try and get you the hardest. And that was the enemy trying to get me to quit, to go back to England, to be like, screw it, I'm going to go back and work for the bank for the rest of my life. And so, but it's the ice cold pool that you jump in. You're crapping literally, but you're kind of crapping your pants going up to the pool like, man, I don't want to do this. It's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be safe, And so, but I understood even back then that if I just keep going, if I just keep trying, that everything's going to be okay.
Because what's the alternative, right? Staying in the car.
Exactly.
It explodes.
Right.
How many times in life do people just stay put? So maybe that car symbolizes the progression and growth and action you've taken.
Absolutely,
by jumping out the car.
Yeah. And if I didn't, what would have happened? If I'd have stayed in my previous position, like what would have happened? I knew what was going to happen. I knew what my path was going to look like if I stayed put.
Yeah. It'd be Iceland's, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
In England.
Iceland's, that's
Iceland's. Mine would be KFC.
KFC, exactly.
Can't find no chicken.
Yeah, no chicken. Can't even get free chicken when you work there.
So, but you don't know, what's possible if you take the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also know exactly what's going to happen if you don't.
Yeah.
So then why take that boring route if you already know what it's going to look like?
Yeah.
Why not take a risk and try something different?
Yeah. The bill from regret is far more than what you can ever invest in yourself.
Exactly.
Exactly. On that part.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man. I love you, bro. Appreciate you coming on.
Brother.
Congratulations on the great success. I hope people listening in, getting some of these clips, can maybe get a couple of takeaways. And look, if you put your mind to it, if you're disciplined and you're consistent and you take action, you can do whatever you want to do. I mean, this young man and myself, we came here with barely just a couple of suitcases and our older brother who paved the way. And we're out here extremely blessed. However, comes at a price. And that price is your time and your investment into growing yourself, and more importantly, being a person of value that gives exponential value, right?
That's right.
So, Paul, appreciate you coming on the Bizness Podcast Show, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. Guys, once again, I'm Chris Mathurin. This is the Bizness Podcast, Bizness, podcast.com. You can catch us out there. If you are a small business owner or a local leader and would like to overcome obscurity in the marketplace, give us a shout and we'll go ahead and take care of you. Go ahead and shoot us a message. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other. This is Paul Mathurin, my brother from the same mother, like each other. I'm Chris. Love you, bro.
Love you too, bro.
All right, we out. Take care.